We are students of Cathedral High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, and have been chosen to emphasize the importance of leadership, to analyze leadership of the past, illustrate our school's leadership, and encourage the development of leadership in NFHS member high schools across the country. Our generation has the task of overcoming the challenges that we face at school, at home, and in our community, and we will face more challenges in the future. It is up to us, as students, to demonstrate the leadership that will be needed in the future. Franklin Delano Roosevelt exemplifies strong political leadership in the face of tragedy. Entering the presidency during the Great Depression, he took charge of the economy and began a steady recovery program, his New Deal. This conglomerate of relief, recovery, and reform not only resurrected the United States from the Depression, but also supported the nation during World War II. FDR rises to the call for a strong leader in the time of crisis. He, as a leader, feared nothing but fear itself, and followed that mantra throughout his whole presidency. A civil leader, Martin Luther King Jr. led a peaceful movement against the oppression of minorities. The March on Washington he led in 1963 displayed the immense power and influence that leaders possess. Even though he had amassed 250,000 people willing to fight for a worthy cause, he chose to persuade them to protest in a peaceful manner. This feat won him the Nobel Peace Prize, an award recognized around the world, not just certain communities in America. His eloquent speeches and powerful protests carried more weight than any fight could have. His insight and passion helped to end segregation in the United States. One of the most influential servant leaders of the 20th century, Mother Teresa, was born into a fortunate family. At the age of 12, she was fascinated by stories of missionary journeys and decided to devote her life to charity. As a servant leader and a Catholic nun, she spent most of her life in India building shelters and sanctuaries for the sick and poor. Throughout her 87 years of dedication, her Sisters of Charity had over 4,000 sisters that operated over 600 missions in 123 countries, including shelters for people with HIV and AIDS, and leprosy, soup kitchens, orphanages, and schools. Mother Teresa showed the world how to serve others through her selfless works. The Cathedral community is united through leadership in education, athletics, and service. All clubs and organizations are student-run and staff-moderated. Whether we are building a house for an impoverished family, organizing events in student government, or winning the third state football championship in a row, Cathedral students have been shaped to be leaders of the world. Each day at Cathedral High School, individuals face their own challenges, overcome adversity, and reap the benefits of leadership. These leaders are role models in the school and outside in the surrounding community.
My definition of a leader is someone who not only leads by example with their words, but with their actions.
A true leader, to me, tries to do what everyone around him needs to be done. And to do that, there has to be trust in themselves and trust in the people that they are trying to serve, that they will trust that he or she will do the right thing for them. And there has to be some confidence and some abilities to be able to pull that off.
To me, a leader means someone who is trustworthy, someone who is worthy of people to pay attention to and emulate.
My definition.
And to be a leader is someone who is able to bring out the best in other people. A leader is not someone who's going to force things on people, but a leader is someone who's going to be open, comfortable around other people. And I think it's someone who has a bit of a sense of humor, who can laugh, who can have a good time and not be cold and direct and not welcoming to people.
Not only do I lead by my words and my actions, I also know when to listen and know when to take ideas from other people.
From a leadership standpoint, Some of the things that really come to mind that I look for and are easily identifiable when they're going through the admissions process. Number one is their work ethic. The work ethic of a student comes across so clearly when you talk with their teachers, when you read their recommendations. All of our students will do interviews, so the feedback that we get from that, it quickly identifies those that work really hard in the classroom. Our experience here has been those that work really hard in the classroom typically carry that same work ethic and things they do outside of the classroom. So they carry that into their faith life. They carry that onto athletic fields. They carry that into clubs and activities. So that is something where a student has the opportunity to lead by example based on their work ethic and their attitude. And that's something that really stands out for us.
Open-mindedness. An idea comes to you and you're willing to take a look at it, you're willing to observe it, you're willing to try it. I think that also the idea of confidence, it can't be something that just happens, it has to be something that over time develops. I think that the greatest qualities of leadership can be not being a leader, in the sense that, as I think, maybe sometimes you step back to allow others to succeed, or you allow others to do what they do best.
There are different types of leaders, and a servant leader is one that is really humble and is not looking for gratification.
If you can think about those around you ahead of yourself, then that usually provides good leadership. I think leadership is being willing to do the things that everybody else is doing, but you being able to do them as, first as well. It's not giving orders, it's not a title. It's a thing that's earned by example as much as by word of mouth.
Probably it takes a little time. So when I look at someone who I'm going to have confidence in to lead me in a direction, then I want to make sure there's a little bit of a track record there. So I want to make sure that, maybe once or twice people might be able to get your confidence, but after time they might take advantage a little bit or utilize ways that aren't the right way. So I look at someone that I would follow as someone over the course of time proves to me that they really have my best interest in heart. I may not always agree with them, but I'm going to listen to them if I know they care enough to be in a position where I'm going to always be able to go to them and feel like they're going to look at the overall situation and what's best for others.
So what do we do? As high school students, our generation is next in line to inherit the earth. What will our role be in the years to come? What can we do now? It is up to us to combat the problems of the future and lead the nation to prosperity. We've planted the seed. Now it's up to you to foster the ideals of leadership and apply them in the future. We challenge you to showcase leadership at your own school. As per Bill Gates, as we look into the future, leaders will be those who empower others.